Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey y'all, welcome back to SunshinehazeCo. I'm Aja A. For those of y'all that have never seen one of my videos, I got hella videos up though, so I'm hoping you've seen at least like a half of one or something. This is not one of the regular moon videos. Today I am here to talk to you about a retrograde. We are officially in retrograde season. Yes, we did have a Mercury retrograde already. However, Mercury retrogrades like 3 or 4 times a year. So we are now in the beginning of what I like to call the cluster of retrogrades. This first retrograde kicking off this retrograde season is in Pluto, and it is placed in Capricorn. So just to give you guys a little bit of a brief for those of you that are just now getting into the astrologies, when a planet goes into retrograde, it appears as if it's moving backwards or spinning backwards. However, that is just an optical illusion. The actual what's happening when a planet retrogrades is actually just stopping, slowing down a bit, and passing over points that it's already passed over. So on an energetic level, I like to look at the retrogrades as a time to reflect and correct, to go over things that we may have already done or may have already dealt with, but to kind of just give them a little bit of a second glimpse to see if everything that we've done or all of the steps that we've taken are the ones that we want to really have solidified to keep us on our path, or if we want to go back and shift some things up so that we can alter the course. My hand is itching, but it's not itching on the correct side, and this is also not the correct hand to be itching. I'm not trying to spend no money. I'm trying to get some money. So what money? Pretending like the little stimulus check, it don't even exist, to be completely honest. So this particular retrograde, this one kicking off this cluster season, is Pluto. And before y'all even get started, we are not going to play Pluto today. We're not going to be like, Pluto's not even a planet. No, I still count Pluto, okay? Pluto still has influence. Pluto is the planet of transformation, of the subconscious, of birth and death and rebirth and cycles. So, and renewal. So this Pluto retrograde is actually going to be, although it's an outer planet, so we don't see it really in the physical, honestly, until a little bit further down the road once its station is direct. But on a subconscious level, on a spiritual level, like this is major. Okay, this is big. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, the goat. It starts on April 25th, and guess what, guys? We've got another video where I'm telling you to be proud of me because I'm getting this up before the retrograde actually starts. We're doing good this month. We're doing really well. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. I'm gonna get all y'all's readings up on time too. Speaking it into existence. This retrograde starts on April 25th. Today's the 24th. Happy birthday, Sequoia. So Pluto goes into retrograde tomorrow, which means we've been dealing with the shadow for about the past couple to few weeks. Pluto, because it's an outer planet, meaning it moves a lot slower, this is going to be in retrograde for the next 6 months. It ends its retrograde on October 6th, I believe. Yes, on October 4th. Starting in 25 degrees, ending in 22 degrees. So as I said, very slow moving. So it's only moving 3 degrees over this whole 6 months, okay? Now let's talk about the energy that we're going to be working with for the next 6 months in regards to this Pluto retrograde in the sign of the goat. For those of you guys that don't know anything about Capricorn, or if you just need a little bit of a refresher, like I said, Capricorn is the goat. Capricorns are entrepreneurs. They're business people. I was going to say businessmen, but they're business people. Hard workers. Capricorns are very self-disciplined. They are very organized. They like to plan things out, and they like to adhere to their plans. If you guys can see how I'm sitting right now, I have to work later. Or actually work. Like, I actually have to get ready for work after I record this video. and I decided to wear a skirt to work today. But the thing with the skirt is that it is not a crisscross applesauce type of skirt, which is usually how I sit to record these videos. So I'm like, oh man, if y'all could just see, like, I am twisted down here, and like I was trying to look at my notes like this, but we're gonna shift things and make it a little bit more logical for what I'm trying to do here, because that didn't make any sense. Capricorns are very methodical, very practical as well. So with this being a retrograde, and I was talking about the energy of reflecting and correcting, this is kind of like a shadow period. So it's not a time where things are really popping off. It's a time to where you're doing the work in the shadows. And with Pluto being the planet that is associated with Scorpio, and Scorpio is a sign of mystery, we're gonna literally use these words and say this is going to be a time to do some shadow work. Now, shadow work is different for every single person. For some people, it could be dealing with emotional trauma. For some people, it could be dealing with how they communicate. It just depends on what it is that you need to work on within yourself and within your personality, within your spirit, okay? But these next 6 months are a time for you to really take a look at that and look at what aspects of your shadow self are actually detrimental to what you are trying to do and what you've got going on in the, I was gonna say in the physical, yeah, in the physical, in the spiritual, but what you've got going on currently. That's the word I was looking for. It's not the word I was looking for, but that word also means whatever word I was looking for, because I can't think of the word that I was looking for. So anytime we have a retrograde, the way that I like to look at the energy is this is the point before we're really getting into this, just before we're really getting down to business. So reflect and correct, right? So this is the time where you really get to take a look at those shadow aspects, especially the ones that are kind of weighing you down. And because Capricorn is a hard worker and Capricorn is very practical, coming up with ways to tackle those things or ways to improve upon those things, so that when Pluto stations direct, you are able to come into these transformations, come into these new cycles, okay? Self-discipline is the note that I have there with that. So whatever you've been slacking on, I was gonna say Capricorn, but this is for everybody. Whatever you've been slacking on, especially if it's something that is not necessarily one of your most positive traits or positive aspects, I can pretty much guarantee you that it is going to become evident to you during these next 6 months, and a way to work with it and work through it is also going to become evident to you, and it's going to be work that you're going to be doing. So, you know, we're talking April to October here, so you've got half a year literally. This is the note this is the note I'm ready for. So I said earlier that Capricorn energy is entrepreneurial. Capricorn is the business person. So this retrograde in Pluto, with Pluto being all about death and rebirth and cycles and transformation, right? This is going to be a time to where a lot of people are going to be having some shifts in their career, shifts in their finances. With Scorpio having that Pluto, the Scorpio Pluto energy, with Scorpio being this mysterious energy and Scorpio being kind of the detective of the zodiac, what we're going to be looking at, or what's going to be happening to us over this next, I want to say this next month because I am so used to recording moon videos, but over the next 6 months is this energy of, okay, taking the magnifying glass, my glasses actually look like a magnifying glass, taking the magnifying glass and going over our lives and saying, okay, this is what I'm doing for a living. Does my soul, does my spirit, does my heart resonate with this or no? No, that was my work phone. There's nothing going on, so there's probably a conference call or something that I'm not on. Whatever. As I'm talking about career and finance and talking about Pluto and changes and transformation, these next 6 months, a lot of us are going to be into spaces to where, especially with this COVID stuff happening and a lot of people being forced to either be out of work or not do the jobs that they've been doing because they can't because of shelter in place, some career changes, some realizations, some epiphanies in regards to what am I doing for a living? Is this what I'm meant to be doing for a living, or is this just something that I'm doing to make money? And is this even, is this even necessary? Could I be making money doing what it is that I want to do? Could I be making money doing what it is that my soul is actually in alignment with, or that I need to be in alignment with? because Capricorn is a hard worker, Capricorn likes to plan things out over this retrograde period. What's going to be happening is, yeah, if you're universe is so funny. I can believe that I got a notification on my work phone as I'm talking to y'all about shifts in your careers. Look at this in 6 months and see where I'm at, what I'm doing. What was I saying, guys? Capricorn, liking to plan things out, liking to like a very methodical approach. So if you're in a space in regards to your career, in regards to your finances, that is not working for you, or that you don't feel like you resonate with anymore, I can pretty much guarantee you over the next 6 months, you're going to be doing research, you're going to be looking things up online, you're going to be reaching out, emailing people, calling people, getting information on what it is that you actually feel like you should be doing or what you actually should be doing. And then by the time that Pluto stations direct towards the end of the year, I would not be surprised if a lot of us are doing something completely different, making different types of money to put in the bank, okay? Or not, because banks, but it's for another video. I'm just convinced that I need to make like another channel or have like a playlist of my my views or something. I don't know, y'all. Y'all tell me if y'all be interested. I was gonna be like, I don't care, I would do it anyway if I want to. So yeah. Anyways, but I do care about y'all's opinion. I will really do it if you guys are interested, but even if you're not, if I feel like doing it, I'm gonna do it. I am a rising Capricorn. Prime example of Capricorn energy. What other notes do I have here? Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. Capricorn is the daddy of the zodiac. It's one of the parents. Carries a very paternal energy. So with this being Pluto retrograde, a time to look at the shadows, a time to look at what's, you know, underneath the surface, look at things in depth, and also change and transform things, new cycles. I was gonna say kill things off. Let me not say it like that. Let certain energies die out to come into new ones. As far as this paternal energy is concerned, for those of you, especially those of you with these placements in your chart that have put strains on your paternal relationships, if you're a father with your kids, or if you're a kid, or if you have had, you know, some sort of issues with your dad in these past couple of years, even if you haven't been as close with your dad in these past couple of years, these next 6 months, I would not be surprised if you have these random thoughts of, oh, I need to call my dad, or, you know, God forbid if your dad's no longer with us, or if you're feeling, you know, dad's spirit, or, you know, things of that sort. But paternal energy really popping up, but because it's a retrograde, paternal energy in regards to where there's a little bit of shadow in there, where things need to be fixed, where things need to be shifted. So dads and people dealing with things in regards to their dads this next 6 months. If you've been having daddy issues, or if you've been feeling like you need to be around your dad more or talk to your dad more, I would definitely do that, because this is the time to do so. This is the time where the energy, this is the time where you really need to harness that energy, and it will really work to your advantage, okay? So, you know, if you want to get closer with your dad, take these next 6 months, especially with us all being locked in the house, call him. You know what I'm saying? Write him. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you are a parent, take this time to, and I'm not a parent yet, so I could be completely off, but like, you know, read parenting books, reach out to other parents, your elders, ask them for advice, you know, talk to your kids, strengthen your relationships. This is definitely a time to look into that paternal energy. And then also, if you're a male and you're watching my video these next 6 months, if you aren't trying to have babies, be mindful. Use protection. This is a retrograde in Capricorn. Some of y'all could end up as daddies come October, or be hearing about y'all becoming daddies in October. Okay? And for the ladies, if you're dealing with somebody, just be very careful if you're not trying to have kids right now. With this being a Pluto retrograde, some of you that might end up conceiving during this time, there is a little bit of a red flag. Retrograde energy in Capricorn with it being Pluto could point to having some baby daddy issues. So just put that out there. to let y'all know that. And then with that being said, so we're talking about baby daddies, Pluto associated with Scorpio is the planet that deals with sex. So with this being a retrograde period, the fire and desire could die down a little bit for a lot of y'all, especially with it being Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth energy. And then also with it being Capricorn, and there's this energy of practicality and this energy of I want things to be the way that I need them to be. This being a retrograde, if you have not been satisfied within your sex life, or if you haven't been having sex, this is definitely going to be a time to where you're thinking about, what is it that I like? What is it that I need? What is it that does not work? And I keep letting people do, we just not going to do that. No, like, things of that sort. Really getting into these, and Capricorn is very diligent. Capricorn is very demanding. So in regards to that, this is a time where, you really get to know yourself and you get to lay your foundation. So I would not be surprised, especially for those of you that are active, if you're having conversations in the bedroom, like, yeah, that's not going to work for me. You're like, no, this is what I want. This is what I need, which is completely cool. Why don't, if it's not going to be popping, why do it? Like, why waste the body? You feel me? Okay, moving along just very quickly. On the shadow side, Capricorn can be a little rude. What else? I don't even want to read y'all the Capricorn shadow side notes because I'm a rising Cap. Shadow side? What? What do I got here? Capricorns can be a little rude, very blunt. With that being said, rude and blunt when it comes to communication don't go together. So just be mindful of that energy. Also, with it being a retrograde on the shadow side, Capricorn, that energy is very prone to vices, and negative vices at that, and addiction, and it's also prone to depressive energies. So with this being a retrograde period, those energies are actually, it's a little bit easier for us to tap into them. So if you feel that heaviness of that shadow side of Capricorn energy, just call it for what it is, acknowledge it. One of the best things is being able to call things for within, knowing things when they pop up, and if you have that knowledge, you have the ability to combat it, you have the ability to work through it. So just keep that in mind as these things pop up, and remember, we're dealing with this for the next 6 months. So this is going over through the end of the spring, over the summertime, and going into the fall season. So this is not a quick energy, but this is also not a very prominent in our physical lives energy. Again, remember, this is an outer planet being Pluto, so it's more on the subconscious, more on the spiritual level, okay? And what else do I got here? I got a couple more notes for y'all, but as far as the Pluto retrograde is concerned, a couple of aspects happening during this retrograde. It's going to be conjunct Jupiter, and this actually lasts throughout the duration of the retrograde. So Jupiter is this planet of expansion, of growth. Jupiter is the planet of fortune and of luck. So this is and a conjunction is a positive aspect in astrology. So this is a positive energy, a positive popping energy. So we're getting into this awakening, coming into alignment with, like I said, understanding the work that needs to be done to get us to the point to where we want to be at in our lives. But with this being Jupiter and it being growth, and this conjuncting Pluto, there's transformation, positive transformation on a higher level in regards to our career and our businesses and our finances, like I mentioned earlier, okay? And now there's another aspect that's pretty important. It's not the best. This is going to be squaring Mercury with this being in Capricorn. This Pluto retrograde being in Capricorn, squaring Mercury. Mercury is a planet that governs our communication, our thoughts, our perspective, travel, things of that sort. There is this energy of obsessive thoughts and of paranoia and of this fear of death. And on, just to give you guys an example, on a global scale, coronavirus, there is this, I hate to say it because I was just talking about this in another video about how these news stations and news broadcasts are all from the same source, and they all use this word paranoia, but there is actually this energy of paranoia around this COVID-19 stuff, and that is very Pluto retrograde. And remember, we've been in the shadow for a couple of weeks, so there you have it, but if you look at the numbers, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I was just saying this I think yesterday, if you look at the numbers and the percentages, it's bad. It's a lot of people dying, but also on the grand scale, when I actually did the research, it wasn't as many people as I thought by way of the media. So, Pluto retrograde squaring Mercury. With that being said, with this aspect, whenever Pluto stations direct, it's gonna, with this being this reflecting correct energy, it's gonna put us into this space of coming into new protocols and figuring out new ways to function, with it being in Capricorn, and just understanding that we don't need to be doing shit that we're not supposed to be doing shit that doesn't make sense, doing shit that does not work. We need to be doing things that work, doing things that really work. Like, this is the best way that I could put it. Doing things that make sense, doing things that really help us progress, instead of continuing to try these. Y'all know what the definition of insanity is? Trying things over and over again, the same damn thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. So Pluto retrograde in Capricorn is kind of like calling us out on our insane attempts and our insane trials, and saying, you know, why do you keep doing that? That does not work. Why don't you try something different? Why don't you do a little research? Why don't you figure some things out and do this, because this makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's segue into the next part, which is all about the numerology. Very quickly, this retrograde is starting in 25 degrees. You've got 2, the number of harmony, balance, peace, and cohesion, coupled with the number 5, which is the number of change and transformation and ascension into new energies. Put together, that breaks down into 7, which is the number of truth and of divinity, right? Pluto is a planet that deals with the energy of truth, because it is all about transformation and cycles. So as you close out cycles, you understand what has transpired and you prepare to go into the next one. You have to have an understanding of what's coming in. Excuse me. I promise I don't have the Rona. I really just talked to y'all for the whole video without stopping to take a drink once until like 20 minutes in. And I'm almost done. So that's progress, y'all. What was I talking about? Truth and divinity, Pluto being the planet, unveiling these mysteries. So there's, in it being an outer planet, there is this aspect of spiritual progression, getting this better understanding of what we're doing in this life and what's going on around us, and how to function and how to maneuver through it. Because right now, I'll be very real with y'all, where we're at as a collective, especially with this coronavirus stuff, it is very beginning of a retrograde, not knowing what the hell is going on. But you'll see as the months start to go on, as time starts to pass, reflect and correct, things will start to shift. People will start to learn things. People will start to understand things. And people will start to come up with ideas and ways to do work to make things better. And I don't even want to say to put things back to normal, because what is normal, and were things good before? You know what I'm saying? But going to be doing work and going to be tapping into that practical Capricorn energy, figuring out the truth, reflecting correct with this 7 energy, what it's starting in, to help us figure out, like I said, what needs to be done, so that when Pluto stations direct, we are transforming into where we need to be, into doing what we need to be doing, okay? This is ending in 22 degrees, still in Capricorn, but like I said, this is a major one. We're in a 22 master number year, so to have a retrograde end in 22 degrees means that a lot of us as a collective humanity, on a personal level, everybody's going to be going through major change and major transformation, and it's almost like we've been forced into it with this COVID-19 stuff. But that's retrograde energy, you know, and people believe what they believe, but I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe everything in divine timing. No matter what you believe about this virus, how it got here, what it's doing here, how long it's going to be here, the fact is that it's here, and it has kind of forced everybody to start, changing their perspective, start doing different types of work, or start doing their work in a different way. And so, sorry. Y'all, let me tell you, getting people to start doing their work in a different way, in the sense that it works, okay? In the sense that, this shift is needed. this was needed for us. This was needed for everybody. This was needed either whether it means because you needed to make a change in your career, because you needed to make a change in your finances, because you needed to tap more into, you know, your relationship with your dad, or because you needed some y'all remember that video, "You're not my dad," or "You're my mom"? And when my youngest brother was little, he would be like, "My dad." We'd be like, "Our dad?" Bruh. But whatever this retrograde means for you, with it ending in 22 degrees, this is master builder energy. This means that you are really doing some work on a higher level during this next 6 months. Whether you see it in the conscious, in the physical or not, just know that things are spinning, wheels are turning, and by the time that Pluto stations direct, there's going to be a lot of changes happening for you, and they're going to be positive changes. A lot of change and transformation coming in for everybody once we hit October and around the shadow period. Now, I'm hoping this coronavirus shit don't last that long, but as far as everything else is concerned, there are going to be some major shifts happening towards the end of the year for us, okay? All right, guys. So, yeah, time to reflect and correct on all the things I literally just mentioned. I do offer retrograde readings for each planet, so if you are interested in knowing about like your major transformation, cycles that need to die out, things that need to come in, I do offer a tarot reading for that, and I'll have it linked down below in the description box. With that being said, let me throw on my shameless plugs. Why do they always want to leaf blow when I'm recording a video? Never fails. They always want to make noise when I gotta do. We've been here all morning, and now all of a sudden they want to go blow pine needles and shit. Anyways, we're at the end of the video, so let me not get too irritated. But as I was saying, what plugs do I want to put in here? Watch the what is this? This is the retrograde video, the Taurus new moon. That's the most recent lunation that we just had. I'll have May pick a card readings up and the May tarot forecast readings up as well. I also have a coronavirus tarot reading up as well. There's one more. I didn't talk about it in this video, but Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn did just transition into Aquarius, so watch all those videos with all the information, all the things. And thank you guys for tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.